Welcome back. In this episode, we will learn about the sharp sign and the harmonic minor scale. First of all, let's look at a new symbol, a sharp. A sharp raises a note by a semitone or halftone. It is always written before the note it affects. Sharps written in a piece of music are called accidentals. The sharp sign is written either on the line or in the space immediately before the note. In this example, the note G is sharpened. Instead of playing G, we play the note a semitone, a halftone, immediately above, in this case, the next black key, G sharp. Listen and watch the scale of A harmonic minor. You can see that the scale starts on the note A, but the tones and semitones are in different places to a major scale. The interval at the top, from F to G sharp, is a second but wider than a normal second because of the accidental. This special type of wide interval is called an augmented interval. You will learn more about these in later lessons. You can hear that this gives the harmonic minor its very special quality, and it takes its name harmonic minor from the augmented interval at the top. When you play the two notes together, F and G sharp, the augmented second sounds different to a minor second or a major second. The finger pattern for the right hand and the left hand is the same as the pattern we learnt for C major. Watch first. The right hand plays fingers 1, 2 and 3 with the thumb passing smoothly under to D, ready to play the upper part of the scale. Note that fingers 3 to 4 have the wide augmented second interval. Descending, coming down, the pattern is reversed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then finger 3 glides over, ready to play C, then C, D, E, with fingers 3, 2, 1 back to the home tonic of A. Listen and watch the right hand first. Now you play the right hand along. After a count of 4, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause and rewind if you need a little more time to practice before we move on to the left hand. The left hand ascending going up plays fingers 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The third finger gliding over to F, then F, G sharp and A played with 3, 2 and 1. Remember, fingers 3 to 2 have the wide augmented second. Descending, the pattern is reversed. 1, 2, 3 on F. Thumb flows smoothly under to E, then E, D, C, B, A, walking down step by step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, back home to the tonic A. Now you play the left hand after a count of 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play right hand A harmonic minor, followed by the left hand. Remember to play with smooth, graceful movements in both hands. After a count of 4, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. How did you manage? Pause and rewind if you need a little more practice time. Listen to our first new piece today, Geese in the Snow. Did you spot the left-hand ostinato pattern? Let's look at that first. Bar 1 is based on the tonic triad of A minor. In bar 2, you need to extend finger 5 to play the G sharp and rotate the hand a little. If you have very long fingers, you may be able to reach easily. This 2-bar ostinato pattern is repeated throughout the whole piece. Notice that the first 2 bars are repeated and the piece is played andante at a walking pace. Listen and watch first. Now you join in. You'll hear the melody played very quietly above to help you. Remember, the first 2 bars are repeated. After 2 counts of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How did you get on? Pause and rewind if you need a little more time to practice before we move on to the right hand. The right hand melody is based on the scale of A harmonic minor. In bars 3 to 5, the hand stays in the same position. In bar 6, the thumb passes smoothly under to play the ascending scale. Watch out for the wide interval between E and G sharp, played with fingers 2, 4 and 5. In this part of the melody, the F is not played, so finger 3 gets a little break and just hovers above quite naturally without playing. Listen and watch first. Now you join in. Remember, the right hand has 2 bars rest that are repeated. You will hear the left hand played softly underneath to help. Ready to play after the repeated 2 bars in the left hand. How did you get on? Pause and rewind if you need a little more time to practice before we move on to the next section. From bar 10, the melody is made up of the descending scale of A harmonic minor. You can see the augmented second from G sharp to F, the third finger passing smoothly over in bar 12, but notice the second finger this time has a break as we miss out the B. The final portion is a simple ascending scale of A harmonic minor. Look out for the long held A in bars 16 to 18, held for a total of 9 whole beats. Listen and watch first. Now you join in. After 2 counts of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. How did you manage? Pause and rewind if you need a little bit more time to practice before we put the whole of the right hand together. Let's play the whole right hand together from the start. Remember the repeated 2 bars rests at the beginning and the long held note at the end. Ready to play after the 2 repeated left hand bars. How did you get on? Pause and rewind if you need a little bit more time to practice before we put both hands together. Let's put both hands together. Remember the repeated bars at the start. In this piece you can see there are no expression marks or dynamics. How do you think it should be played? How would you interpret the piece to represent geese in the snow? Let's play both hands together after 2 counts of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. How did you get on? In your practice this week, experiment with playing this piece in different ways, with different dynamics, articulation. What happens if you play the left hand louder than the right, or the right hand louder than the left? Can you add crescendos and diminuendos, even a ritenuto or ritardando? What effects help create the picture of the geese in the snow? Have fun experimenting and see what ideas you come up with. Listen to Der Freche spricht, the cheeky woodpecker. Notice the contrasting legatos and staccatos in the left hand and the right hand always staccato. The whole piece is an animated portrait of this lively bird. Listen first. Starting with the left hand, you can see that the melody is made up of the ascending scale of A harmonic minor, the third finger passing smoothly over to play the upper part with the augmented second at the top. Can you spot the repeated patterns? And the skip of a fourth. Let's play the first line together. Listen first. Now you join in. Aim for graceful hand movements, smooth legatos and light, crisp staccatos. After a count of 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. How did you get on? Pause if you need a little more practice time before we go on to the second line. The second line opens the same as the first and then descends with the thumb passing under neatly in bar 6, but watch out for the interval of a second in bar 6 and the skip of a third in the last 2 notes. Listen and watch first. Now you join in and play line 2. Aim for smooth, fluid movements in your scale passages. After a count of 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. How did you get on? Pause and rewind if you need a little bit more time to practice before we put both lines together. Let's play the whole of the left hand together. Remember smooth legatos, neat staccatos and graceful hand movements. After a count of 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. How did you get on? Again, in this piece, there are no dynamic markings, crescendos or diminuendos. How do you think the left-hand melody could be played to illustrate the cheeky woodpecker? Where would you put your crescendos and diminuendos in your interpretation? Pause and rewind if you need a little more time to practice. Let's listen to the right hand. You can see that the right hand is an accompaniment to the left hand melody made up of thirds, seconds and single notes imitating the idea of a woodpecker pecking. The last bar has a cheeky little motif based on the tonic triad of A minor. Let's play the first line of the right hand together. Play the E at the top of the treble clef with finger 2. This will help you prepare for the triad motif in the last bar. After a count of 4, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause and rewind if you need a little more time to practice before we move on to the second line. In the second line of the left hand, the first 2 bars are the same as the beginning, but the next bar, finger 2, plays E on the second and fourth beats of the bar. Again, finger 2 will help you for the last bar triad, so just notice the rhythm difference here in bar 6 with a crotchet 1 beat rest on the first and third beats. The last bar played neatly, staccatos with finger 2, 1 and 5. Watch first. Now you play along with left hand line 2. Remember lovely smooth legatos, light crisp staccatos and neatly coordinated hand movements and finger changes. After a count of 4, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause if you need a little more time to practice the second time before we put both lines together. Let's play the whole of the right hand from the beginning to the end. After a count of 4, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. How did you get on? Pause and rewind if you want a little more time to practice the coordination of the right hand before we go on for our final concert performance of today. Are you ready for a final concert performance of Der freche Specht, the cheeky woodpecker? Remember, the articulation is written, but it's up to you where you put your crescendos and diminuendos. After a count of 4, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. How did you get on? Go back and have another go if you want to before we move on to our last 2 exercises for today. Before we finish, let's put the right and left hands together in a contrary motion scale, first of all using the rhythm we started with. Listen and watch. Now you play along too. Aim for beautifully choreographed, graceful hand movements. After a count of 4, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. How was your coordination? Did you notice that the scale was very similar to the contrary motion scale of C major we learnt last week, apart from the fact we started on A and with the exception of the augmented second? Let's play the contrary motion scale of A harmonic minor one more time, but this time in even crotchets. After a count of 4, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. How did you get on? Were your hand movements gracefully choreographed? Practice the scale staccato, legato, and with crescendos and diminuendos. And in your pieces, experiment with the dynamics and crescendos and diminuendos too. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment if you have any questions, and I very much look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. In the meantime, happy playing!